Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Train Sim World 2 German Freight Wednesday. So we're going to do the service from the Wuppertal Steinbeck yard to the Hagen freight yard. We're hauling petroleum. We're going to get in here, get our cab set up. Let's see. It's been such a long time since I have been in German route. So we'll do PZB and SIFA, see how we get along with that. All right. Reduced. All right. Make sure that is set. All right, we've got a yellow signal, so we should be ready to go here. Should be waiting on anything. There we go. Oh, we got a red light right up there. Terrific. Already. All right, so that's what we're hauling, these tankers. And, oh, hey, Pete. Welcome to the stream. As you see, we're already surfing. So we're on the nice Railion liveried DB BR, or DB 185.2. I like this livery. It's the preferred one, as far as I'm concerned, of the two. Okay, I got released, so I should be able to speed up, but we do have that red right there. So there's our train, and it looks like we're waiting for... There's a train that's probably going to clear out of there, I believe, so we may have to wait for that to cross the tracks. Hey, Milla, how are you? So we're gonna kind of creep up here if we can. Oh boy. Probably because I didn't speed up fast enough. I was gonna say I was under the speed limit there. Oh, maybe because wait, who's Amela? Backlund is Amela, Pete. Oh, I know what I gotta do. I gotta put the brakes on and reset. There we go. It's been such a long time since it seems like forever since I've been on a German freight route. Oh, come on. We're on flat ground. This shouldn't... We were going so good, too. Come on. We don't want any wheel slip if we can help it. It's like it doesn't want to go. There's that notorious, like, weird... There we go. Now we finally got it. Alright. So we'll kind of make our way slowly up here as much as possible. I think I've done a service from here before, and I had to sit here for a bit because there's a station right up there or something. Ooh, just saw some lightning. We are getting a thunderstorm here. Hopefully my internet does not go out. I guess another name to get used to. Yep, Pete, exactly. You may hear the thunder over the microphone. Hopefully you don't. But yeah, we are getting a thunderstorm right now here in Binghamton. So hopefully after this train clears, we might be able to proceed. Nope. Yeah, I think I remember this before that. Alright. So we're gonna have to wait here. Oh, I see. There is another train on our... Yeah, it's still sitting there. That one did... I remember this now. This one did take forever to clear out. For whatever reason. So anyway, hopefully everybody's having a nice Wednesday evening. It was nice here before, but we now have rain, thunder, lightning, that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Fingers crossed we don't get a power outage or anything like that. Or any trees blown down or anything crazy, so... All right. Yeah, I figured I've not been on this, done German stuff, other than, you know, trying to do fast stuff. And so I thought, well, this would be a good... So we're going to do this one. We're on the Rhein-Ruhr Osten, I believe. Yeah, I think it's Rhein-Ruhr Osten. And then we're going to go to Ruhr-Sieg Nord, which is the one that has the continuation from Hagen to Finnentrop. So we're going to do that. But Lord, that train is still sitting there. Oh, I can't go much farther over, can I? So we're gonna do another 185.2 service from Hagen to Finnentrop. We're gonna do, I think it's a mixed freight. I kind of already planned it out earlier today. So we'll see how well we do with the PZB. We're going to leave the IFB off. We're just going to... Yeah, just some petroleum. We're going to take this over to the Hagen yard. And then I was hoping there would be a continuating service from Hagen to Finnentrop with these tankers, but there's not. I could only find like a mixed freight service, so... We'll just figure our driver completes this one and then has to run over and do the service onto Finnentrop on the from there. So, all right. Has that train finally cleared out? No, of course not. So we're just going to chill here on top of the locomotive. We're going to surf a moment, even though we're not moving, if that's okay with Pete. So, I feel kind of bad. Richard's in the voice chat all by himself. But it's kind of hard to, it'd be kind of hard to talk to him on my laptop and also do the stream. Oh, it's finally moving. Look at that. All right, let's get off the brakes then. Oops. Get those released. So as soon as we get the clearance to move forward, we can start getting on the throttle here. Unless that train goes right into our... Nope. Well, no, it probably will. Let's see, does it? It's going to go right into that station in there. Oh, it's cool. Finley was there. Oh, yeah, I think he was, and then he popped out. Richard's just in there by himself, unless he got in there already. But, no. Yeah, of course, this one goes right into the same station I need to pass through, and they're going to stop there for passengers. And then the other one is now up there. Yeah, that's the tricky part. Depending on which part of the map you start from, you are going to find yourself sitting at a red light for some time while the passenger service takes priority. So hopefully after this one moves out of the way, we can start making our way, as long as nothing else is coming from down there. Is this as count new PD? Account? No. Well, thank you for subscribing or following me, Pete. Greatly appreciate that. I do have a third viewer, but I'm not sure who that is. I only see 2 people in the chat. Maybe somebody else is lurking, I don't know. So yeah, we're less than a week away now. Just 6 days left until we hear the announcement for the 4th of May about the rush hour and everything. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be some really interesting stuff. And looking forward to see what they have to say. Now, I will admit, for a freight driver who is near tankers and, any possible spillover from fuel and whatnot, or petroleum, I would admit that our driver seems a little overdressed for the occasion. That looks like a driver for like a on a like an ice service or a S-Bahn service. That is not somebody that looks like they should be driving. That is like way overdressed. He's sharply dressed. He's all dressed up with nowhere to go right now. Us or just Rob. Oh. Yeah, somebody was in and then they left, so maybe it was just a random viewer that popped in for a few minutes and then was like, oh, nothing's happening here. He's talking about the fashion sense of the driver instead of driving. Never mind the red light. Yeah, way overdressed, I would admit. Rob, well, and you lot. Oh, Pete, I mean, I just say it how I would here in America, Pete. Petey. I don't know. Josh seemed to think that I have an accent, although I don't necessarily know that I do. And I've heard that before. Oh, this train is just sitting there forever. Yeah, I remember Josh. I think the first time he heard me on Twitch or on YouTube, whatever, and he was like, "Oh, you got an accent." So now, Pete, you're here in the chat while I'm streaming, which is good. It's kind of hard. I'm not always able to be in the chat during a premiere. And that's why, I'll say I only got, never watched it live. Well, now here you go. First time. Thank you. That's why you hear me say I only got one viewer, and you're like, no, there's like 3 or 4 of us watching it on YouTube right now. And I'm like, yeah, but when I say one or a few people are in, I'm talking about the Twitch. So yeah, you get to experience the glory of my stream live. You won't have to wait for it to be loaded up on YouTube. Why is that train just sitting there? All right, I want that driver fired. He's holding up freight, necessary freight. I would think that petroleum is a necessary freight. Things have to move. There's industry needs to continue to move and whatever else. So that petroleum needs to get moving. So I want that driver's badge number. I want him fired. I want him reported. Somebody report him to Dovetail Games for shirking his duties and holding up freight. So basically, we're going from here, just so that everybody can see the map. If you've not seen this one before, we're going there. The route we're going to take is this route. Okay, this part of it, not the other side. Just so that everybody knows what to expect. We generally take this part of the route when we're coming from Hagen. So, if I remember correctly, like I said, it seems like it's been forever before I've been on this route. Yeah, I think we come through here, and then this is where we usually get the. Oh, come on! What is the holdup? Camilla will report him. Yeah. Yep. We'll put Baby Smurf on it. I reckon that's Mr. Addy's in that train. He's just sitting there, holding up progress. He's scared to move forward. So 26 kilometers. I started this for just as I got everything loaded in. I was on the title screen, and we've been streaming for 18 minutes. We've only moved up to this red light. That's pretty bad, to be honest. And the service says it started at 9:53, so in the game only 18 minutes. Well, yeah, 18 minutes have passed. That's insane. All right, it's finally moving. So there we go. All right, let's get this freight moving. We'll make sure we acknowledge the signals so we don't. All right, so we're under 100 or 1,000 hertz magnet. Look at that, another red light right up ahead. Jeez, please. Unbelievable. This is going to take far longer than I was expecting it to at this point. Okay, now it just went yellow. There we go. Now we're finally moving. Right, we're going to get off the throttle. Oh, shoot. I totally forgot about that. Oh, that worked out fine. I forgot about that crossover right there. Ooh wee, that could have been ugly. Now we gotta pay attention to our boards, our reductions and whatnot. So we got the 100 kilometer an hour. Now this is only limited, I think, to what says 140. I don't think we ever really get up to that. I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge this, just be on the safe side. It's been so long. I would normally try to run without the HUD on. So I've done it before, but since I've not been on the route in quite some time, I'm going to keep the HUD on just for general purposes. All right, so we got that one coming up, so we're going to acknowledge that speed board. All right, we'll start getting a little bit more on the throttle here. I totally forgot that the speed went up a little bit. Oh, we got the... I don't know if that's for... No, ours is the... Oh, that's why. Okay. So we got to get on the brakes now. And start... We got to bring it down to 40... Well, we're going to have to bring it down even slower. Yeah, we're probably going to make a few mistakes. Forget. You gotta... This one's tricky. You gotta go like 3 or 4 notch. And then you should be able to get moving. Oh, come on. Of course, now it goes green. There we go. Now we're moving. All right, let's get up to 35 kph. Oh, I don't want to go too fast because we're still under that 1000 hertz magnet. We should be fine right here. Oh, now we're off of there. All right, let's get the release. There we go. Now we're set. Now the one thing I don't remember, and maybe Amela could put it in the chat. So I know we got the 70 there. Now does that mean I have to stay at... I don't think that means I have to stay at 70 kilometers an hour. I can't remember what the... I know there's a limit on freight on the German routes, but I can't remember what it is. Maybe Amela can help us out. If she's listening. Alright, so we got that green there. Let's see, does it have a double yellow up there or no? Can't see it yet. Nope, it's all green. Okay. So it looks like our route is clear. Go ahead and acknowledge that green just to be on the safe side. I need to make like a sticky note or something where it has that information on there for the routes. I always forget. Alright, so we're cutting through some of the more passenger stations here. Go up the hill here. Make sure we acknowledge that. The speed change. Yeah, it's amazing how much knowledge you lose if you don't go back and play some of these routes. Like, it's easy to forget so much stuff, but you don't want to like spend all your time on one place either. You know, I think that's just it doesn't work out very well in the long run. So we have another speed change coming up here. So look at that. We're just cutting. It doesn't seem like it takes long. Once we get moving, we're at 17 kilometers till we get to the freight yard there. So we had the warning for the 130. Just acknowledge that. We'll just go ahead and coast this up the hill here. We can get back up on the throttle once we're... There's the 130 board. And then we have a 120 coming up. So we should see a warning board for that pretty soon. .4 kilometers. Oh, so we have a red ahead of us. Oh boy. All right, we're just gonna... So we got the yellow here, so we're gonna acknowledge that yellow and the 120. So we'll just hit both. All right, now we got to get on the brake. That's the really... So we're coming into one of those difficult situations, or what is perceived to be difficult, because we have to slow down and we're going up this 2.6% grade. We've got all this petroleum behind us. Okay, now it goes green. All right, so we haven't stopped completely. If we can get on the throttle, hopefully, and nope, it's gonna kind of peter out here. Sorry, Pete. It's gonna die out right here on this hill. Of course it is. Of course it is. Gotta love the German roots. Alright, well, we're moving again. Whew. Boy, that we saved that one. Now we should get released, I would think, from... There we go. Alright. I got us released from that 1000 hertz magnet there, because since the green light came around, there's no sense in us just sticking to like a 35, 40 kilometer an hour situation. So... Oop. So we're going to acknowledge the speed board here. Oops, that was a little too much. So we should be on, yeah, we're now on that line there. So we're just going to follow that around, and then we'll go right into Hagen there in the yard. Yeah, I very nearly was only going to put SIFA on, but I'm like, no, it's better to do it with the PZB on, I think, in order to kind of bring back that muscle memory of using PZB, acknowledging signals and all that. I mean, SIFA is easy to acknowledge. There's no doubt about it, but it's probably good to kind of challenge ourselves. So I want to acknowledge. Wow, we are speeding along here. Well, that seems to be just about perfect, that brake notch right there. Alright, let's go back off the brakes. Now, it does seem, and I kind of remember this from before, it's, the brakes have to release from here, the locomotive, all the way through all these petroleum cars, the tankers. So it seems like when you get off the brake, or get off, it does take a while for it to kind of release throughout the whole system. Oh, we're going uphill now, too. So yeah, we're moving along pretty good now. Got another speed change, although that should be faster, I think. Okay, that's for the other direction. Can't believe we're finally through the middle of the week, and I can't believe we're already at the end of April. That is just insane. that April is already pretty much over as of Friday, and we move into May. All right, we don't need the throttle on. We're just going to coast now. Acknowledge this board right here. Yeah, can't believe it's coming. April's already coming to an end. Oof. Unbelievable. Next thing you know, it's going to be June and July. And we're already halfway through 2021. Alright, so we're coming up near the limit. It says 140 is our top speed here on the train. We don't want to break it if we can help it. Alright, now let's get off the throttle or the brakes just a bit. 6.8 kilometers, 6.7 kilometers now to Hagen Freight Yard. So we'll pull in there, pop out of the into the main menu, go over to Rhein-Ruhr Osten or Ruhr-Sieg Nord, whichever one it is of the. I know which one I'm looking for. I kind of wish they were all kind of put together, so you knew which ones kind of ran together on the map. Now I know as we come into Hagen, there's the yard. There's like a building over here. We're gonna have to like slow down like really quick. Or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start dropping some speed off here just to be on the safe side. And then we're gonna kind of have to crawl into the yard, if I remember correctly. See how good my memory is today. Alright, so we got a speed reduction coming up. So it's also good that we're going ahead and get on the brakes just a little bit. Acknowledge that signal because we do have the 100. It was basically warning us we got to be below 100 kilometers at by the next signal. So that's coming up. So we're safe on that aspect of things. So yeah, Friday we will be doing Clinchfield Railroad. At some point on Friday, maybe Friday morning. I'll probably just do one service. We'll try to do an F7 service, and then Saturday will be Sandpatch Grade, one service. We'll see about taking a run up the hill. All right, I'm gonna acknowledge this signal. Bam. We have a 70 coming up. We're going to get on the brakes now also. So we're under the 1000 hertz magnet. So we gotta start slowing down. Even though it's weird that they put us under the magnet, but we're nowhere near. There wasn't a yellow or anything that would suggest that we're, anything to do with a red coming up. I don't know. This is kind of strange sometimes. All right, let's. Oh, now it took us off the magnet. That's interesting. Oh, maybe because we got below the required speed within the prescribed amount of time. Easy as she goes. Yep, exactly, Pete. Exactly. we're gonna acknowledge there's that yellow and green right there. I don't see, maybe it's this magnet. I'm gonna acknowledge that because I don't see the magnet for this signal. But I'm gonna hit both just to be on the safe side. Doesn't hurt to be safe. Why is it still slowing down? We're going downhill. Speeding up now finally? Okay, now it's speeding up. It seemed like we were still slowing down. Alright. So we are going to acknowledge this signal here. For sure. It's saying 50 then 40. So our next one will be 50. And then... So we're good. I think we're fine for where we are speed-wise. We're well below both required speed limits. So... That's okay. Well, there goes a passenger service leaving there, the Dostos. With a, looks like a 143 at the front, maybe. We'll acknowledge this speed, even though, see, the weird thing is there's no board there. They just put that there. Acknowledge this speed as well, just to be on the safe side. Again, even though there's no board and no magnet. Alright, we can get a little bit, let's just put a little bit of speed back on there. Try to get up to 35. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Oh, alright, so we got another signal here at the end. So we'll should step down to a, it should put us under control of the 1000 hertz magnet right here. Nope. Oh, there it goes. And then eventually we should, I think, see a 500 hertz magnet. So yeah, this has been pretty darn good. We only had that one hiccup when we were going towards the station, and we suddenly got the safety thing saying that we were going too fast for the red light ahead. So we took care of that, and it's gone surprisingly well. So we can surf out here now. A little bit. We're going to go ahead and get a little bit of brake on because we should, I think, start. There should be a 500 hertz magnet here at some point, I think. Probably at this signal up here. So I see the green and the yellow, so that means that our next signal should be a red, if I remember correctly. So our 500 hertz should be right here. I'm pretty sure. Nope. That's interesting. Get it up to 15 miles an hour, or 15 kilometers again. Nice, lovely, sunny day here in Hagen.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Maybe I wonder if we keep the speed at 15 or thereabouts, if that's why we don't get the magnet. Although I still think we would see it pop up. Zifa, Zifa. That's what it sounds like he's saying. Even though it's, I'm sure if you really tried, you could make out what he's saying. And I think Amela's provided a little capture card of what the thing is saying. Uh, but anyway.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Alright, here comes the moment of truth. And, stuff like this, it really, if you think about it in its own way, it prepares you for Clinchfield Railroad. Because look how close, we don't have much room for error between the red light and our stop point. I mean, we got a little bit of a, well, actually we've got a pretty good little amount there, but we don't want to. Well, not a completely. Well, we still got 500 points out of that. We should get a gold here. 46 minutes to complete. To drive 29.38 kilometers. How did I walk 4.08 meters? I don't. Oh, maybe because I was walking around inside the cab. All right. So there's that one done. Bam. And we're head over to the good old loading screens. The beautiful F7 there. Should be another picture right after that of it. There it is. Yeah. I do love the F7. It's nice to see pictures of the newer stuff in the game. That's for sure. And it's really nice that they pick pictures from the community to put on there. All right, so that was Rhein-Ruhr Osten. We're going to Ruhr-Sieg Nord next, which is right. If it'll ever let me go past Peninsula Corridor. There we go. There's Ruhr-Sieg Nord. And we're going to find the 185.2. DB BR185.2. Oops. Changed livery because we do love that Railion livery. So we're going to do, there's an 11:10 service. Hagen to Finnentrop. It's a mixed freight. So we are going to do that service. And that should take us, that'll complete our German freight Wednesday routes. Once we get in there and get this done. All right. We're waiting to load in as usual. Rush hour reminder on May 4th. I'll probably watch it on Twitch. I'll watch the stream on Twitch. I won't watch it on YouTube because it's Twitch seems to be a little bit easily managed. You know, I don't get a lot of the. I don't seem we get a lot of the silly nonsense. Okay, so PZB, CIFA. Make sure we got the. Oops. Headlights on. Sit back down. Check the brakes. Oh, we don't need the desk light on. Put that as reduced. Brakes off. And we are cleared to go. So we will acknowledge that signal because it looks like there is a yellow right next to it, so basically mixed freight, this is what it looks like. It's weird because it's just these sort of containers. You know, when I think of mixed freight, I think of what we see on some of the American routes where we see the box cars, maybe some tankers, and a few other things mixed in there, maybe some hoppers, car carriers, that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're finally underway here. So we're going to go ahead and acknowledge this signal as soon as we get there. And that's probably going to be 1,000 hertz magnet at first, I'm willing to bet. Nope. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and hit the release. Alright, there we go. So we are released from that. We'll get up here to 35 kilometers an hour, come off the throttle, and coast it until we get past our 80 kilometer speed limit up there. All right, perfect. CIFA right away. So saucy. So I've got I guess a holiday special that they had for Bally Kiss Angel TV show. It was like a Christmas special, it seems like, because it's got pretty much all the original cast is there for it. So yeah, once that's over with, that's right. So yeah, now we got a 1,000 hertz magnet. Now that doesn't make sense. We came under the magnet. Maybe because there's a 60 kilometer an hour right up here. Huh. So yeah, I gotta find something else to binge watch now. Not much else is interesting me anymore on the on Amazon Prime or on Netflix. So I gotta find something else to binge watch. So we got this, see, it's got green and yellow. So it's almost like they're saying a red's coming up. Nope. Right back under the 1,000 hertz magnet again. Right, 60 kilometers. So that's that reduction in speed right there. Although Hey Richard, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. And it's going to go down to 50 up ahead. Once we're past that via location, though. Don't quite understand why we're under the 1000 hertz magnet, though. Yeah, I can imagine. You did. That was quite a epic stream you did there on Peninsula, Litchfield Railroad. There, Richard. That was quite a couple of long trips there. All right, so we're off the magnet now. Let's get a little bit of speed going here. All right, now we're on a slight downhill, so we're gonna coast a little bit here. Yeah, 4 hours. Yeah, I can believe it. That was a doozy, and it doesn't help. I mean, I thought I figured out how to do the brakes and get them released, but I would have to look. I think Dovetail Games did do a braking tutorial, and I'm hoping they would have done one on the SD40 that shows if you do inadvertently put it into emergency brake, how do you reset the system? Because I don't remember that's even covered in the regular tutorial. So yeah, it would be nice to have all that information. Maybe they did put it out there. I don't know, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna make our way around this kind of semi-horseshoe in a way, I guess. And so our destination is way down. It's going to be down here somewhere. Should be right there, I believe. Uh-oh, what the deuce? Oh, it must be. I must have missed the. I didn't hear the Zifa thing. I must have missed a. Yeah, I bet you I missed a board that I need to acknowledge or something. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Now I'm under a 1000 hertz magnet again. It wasn't like we were speeding. That's the crazy part. We were. All right, let's get moving again. That's the difficult part. When you don't pay attention, yeah, that's you're looking at the map, trying to look at where you're going and stuff like that. And if you've got CIFA and PZB on, you're gonna get what just happened to me. So I guess the lesson learned is if you're gonna look at the map and kind of show everybody where you're gonna be going and whatnot. Oh, come on. Brakes should be released. There we go. So anyway. Yeah, but that braking, I hope they have done a tutorial of some kind so that people can kind of figure out what the deal is on that. And if they go into the emergency brake by accident or even intentionally, that they know how to reset the system. Alright, let's see if we can get the release now. Nope. Wow. Nope, we're stuck at this. I thought that 50 was before or after our... Okay, so we do have a yellow and green here. I don't see a magnet, but I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it just to be on the safe side. Ah, there's a magnet up there, I believe. Yep, so it's got the warning board for the 50 kilometer an hour right there. So we will acknowledge that. Yeah, I'm going to run the F7 on Friday, I think, Richard, in the morning when I do my Clinchfield stream. Yeah, that route is definitely got its challenges. With all the ups and downs of the mountains there, and making sure you try to maintain your speed and everything else. That's oops. All right, so now we should be able to speed up a little bit. Let's try to get up to 40 kilometers. There we go. All right, here comes our 50 board. It should be coming around the corner here. There it is. Right there. Just below the tall sign. And then we have a 40 after our via point. We acknowledge this signal here just to play it safe. We're under 1,000 hertz magnet again. Of course, we're going uphill, so we want to keep our... Need to get a little bit more gas on the throttle, whatever you want to call it, just to maintain that momentum up that 1.2% grade. Well, now it's showing that 40 short of our via location. It's like it keeps changing. That's weird. I just, for a moment ago, it seemed like that 40 was on the other side of our via location. Wow. Unbelievable. Well, thank you to my 2 viewers for sticking around. Greatly appreciate it. I think Richard called it a night. Finally. Alright, so we got this light here. I acknowledge that just to be on the safe side, even though I don't see a magnet. There should be another one. This one appears with the one that I think we should actually acknowledge. Oh, wow, I didn't realize we were going downhill. Oops. I'll slow down before we hit that 40. Oh, yeah, he had quite a long night. Almost 4-hour stream.
Zugbeeinflussung.
Alright. We're going to acknowledge this. Do it again, though there's not a board. Oh, we got a red up here. What? Oh, my goodness. All right. Oh, look at that. We start. Oh, come on. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Don't lose all the momentum.
Zugbeeinflussung.
There we go. All right. So Finnentrop is way down there. It should be a fairly straightforward journey, I think.
Zugbeeinflussung.
All right. There's the log yard. So you can put together, you can put together these log trains and, you know, move around the empty ones. We do have a locomotive that does all that. I think I have a scenario to complete that on here, but it says it takes about 100 minutes to complete. Now I don't know if that's really true, or if that's like a overestimation, or heaven forbid an underestimation. So yeah, and I think, let's see if we can look at the yard real quick before we get screwed over here by the. So the point should be automatic, so we should be okay if we did that at some point. So we're waiting on, I think the speed goes up. We're just waiting on that last car to pass the change in speed to speed up. Wherever that was. I know I saw one. There we go. All right. Perfect.
Zugbeeinflussung. Zugbeeinflussung.
So hopefully everybody's enjoyed this impromptu. I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was like, you know, I'd like to really get on there and do some German freight.
Zugbeeinflussung. Zugbeeinflussung.
So there's other little small yards here. We're going to go past those. Got these different kind of tankers. All right, 39 kilometers to Finnentrop. So this journey is a little bit longer. What was it when we left? Wuppertal. It was 27, I think. So yeah, that one is shorter. This one is definitely the longer journey. So hopefully, if we maintain our speed well enough, we cut through that distance fairly quickly. But again, always remember that the distance is not what you see, the curves and all that. It is the straight line distance. I'm almost 99.9% sure that's what that distance really represents. It does not represent every twist and turn, back switch, and if you're gonna like zigzag up a hill or whatever. That doesn't take that all into account. I don't know. I do generally wonder if there's a way that if it's not, well, maybe it's just not possible in the game that they can mathematically measure every distance around every curve and all that, to give a true accurate representation of how far is your destination. Let's get the window open. Do I have something? Okay, so yeah, there's a reduction in speed up there. So, alright, let's get off the throttle here. I'm just going to kind of coast it up this hill a little bit. So we got the other one right there again, reminding us. It says 100, so we'll be at 100 kilometers an hour here in a moment. Then I think the next one will be you'll start to see the reductions for the 90, or the warning to reduce to 90. Alright, there's the warning for the 90. And there we are. We're safe for the 90 now. Probably drop a little bit below that, but that's okay. Yeah, this is that kind of little small industrial area here on our way to Finnentrop. And the speed board, and then it goes right up to back up to 100 kilometers as soon as we come around the corner here. Well, we gotta wait for the tail end of the train to pass. I believe it's Pete and Miller are both still hanging out in the stream. Greatly appreciate it. Do a little train surfing here for Pete. I know he likes that. I thought I had the. It seems like my settings have been reset. I know I turned down the volume in the game, but it seems like it's still pretty loud when I go outside the train. I'm gonna have to check that at some point. I'm just gonna continue on. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's just double check it while we're here. Let's just pause it real quick and check our settings. Sound effects. Maybe a little bit of the ambience needs to go. Apply. Alright, let's see if that's better. Yeah, that sounds a little bit better. Well, cheers, Pete. Didn't expect you to stay up after being there in Richard's stream all that long time, but glad you're still around. Ooh, I better get off the throttle here. Otherwise, I'm going to be speeding here in a moment. Alright, so we have an 80 kilometer coming up in just under 4 kilometers. Definitely use this nice little uphill to kind of bleed off some of that speed all on its own. That's where we are. We still got quite a bit distance to go. So this definitely is going to be the longer trip of the two. Although the first one took forever, it seems, because we got stuck at that red light forever. So, yeah. I think it does the same thing when you're on the main Spessart Bahn. If you do a freight service there, there's a... Depending on which way you go, it'll make you sit and wait. Alright, so we don't have any warnings yet. Keep an eye out for those, for that 80 kilometer board. Don't know where Amela went, muted headphones and Discord. It might be family time right now, Pete, I'm guessing. You know, it's 7:30 in the evening here in America, so might be just spending time with family and all that. All right, there's our warning board for the 80. Alright, we slowed down to 80 well before our required point, which is good. We use that nice, lovely, slight uphill. Gravity helped us out. Yeah, it might be family time for her. Seems like she's pretty close with her mom and her sister and her nieces and nephews, so... Oh, there's a service. That looks like the 155. Oh, So we got the 80 right here. We'll acknowledge that. And then we have a 70 right around the corner. I think it's because we start to go through some stations and whatnot. We should be able to speed back up, I think, again. We'll go through the tunnel here. That tunnel just basically goes from here just into that curve there. Let's put the desk light on if we need to see anything. Not there's anything that we absolutely need to be aware of control-wise or whatever. Let's get a little bit of gas going here. Just try to pick up just a bit of speed. You bring it back up over 70. I mean, we got 2 kilometers before we even have to be at 70. See how it is if we get the other window open. There we go. We'll sit on top of the train here for a bit. Enjoy this nice countryside view. Going through these little villages and whatnot. Oh, we have a red in 2.7 kilometers. Okay. So let's get a little bit of brake on. We're going to just go ahead and drop our speed altogether because oops, there was a warning board back there. I'm glad I just barely caught it. We're going to get under the oh, there she is. There's Amela. We're just wondering if maybe you were having some family time or you're maybe with your sister and your baby Amy and, well, not your baby, but her baby. Oh, of course, we get the green after we came off the throttle there, or not the throttle, but we dropped our speed on the brakes there a little bit. So, yeah, good stuff, good times, good times. I was showering. Oh, okay. Well, TMI, Abella, TMI. You could have just said, yeah, it was family time. That would have been sufficient. You're starting to develop the bad habits of Mr. Addy's. Alright, back up to 80 kilometers here, as soon as we get out of that tunnel, it looks like. Or a little bit after that. We're slowly making our way. It's like, well, no, we're not even, well, nope, we're not even halfway yet. That's crazy. Blame Mr. Addy's. Yep. He got a little too comfortable telling people stuff. don't know about that young man. All right, 80 coming up here. We'll acknowledge that board. It looks like it's right there. Yep, there's our 8. Acknowledged. There we go with another red. We must have a passenger in front of us. Somewhere on the line. There's a passenger train. I saw it briefly there on the map. I don't want to be off the map too long or out of the main view here. We already had a hiccup earlier because of that. So yeah, it would have been nice. And I thought maybe saw that coming. I would have thought there would have been if there had been a way that they could have had. Maybe it doesn't exist. You know, like you go into Hagen and say you go to Ruhr-Sieg Nord and you want to continue taking that freight to Finnentrop. You know, it would have been nice to have been able to continue that service. Or to, you know, go onto the map and say, oh, I was on this one and now it's this. Maybe that just doesn't exist. I would think it would. Is that but maybe it, well, you know what? Maybe it doesn't because maybe that petroleum goes off where we can't go on the map. I'm guessing. That kind of makes sense. But I was gonna do the 155, but I thought, no, let's do the nice Railion liveried 185.2. And you know when we are on Sand Patch Grade, you know which livery I'm going to pick on Friday, or on Saturday, I mean. We're definitely going to be doing that nice blue and gray liveried locomotives. At least for the lead one. I can't say anything for the other ones, but the lead one for sure will have that nice livery on it. All right. So yeah, we're now about halfway there. We don't have anything warning us or anything like that. Excuse me, I'm starting to yawn. I didn't sleep well last night again. I woke up and then I was trying to go back to sleep, but my next door neighbor was on the phone talking to somebody and they were arguing. Almost 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was almost at the point of getting up out of bed and walking out my front door of the apartment complex, going to the next door, pounding on her door and telling her to shut the F up. I know that wouldn't have been the appropriate thing to do, but man, people just are, they have hardly any consideration around here. I try to be quiet when I get up in the morning because I'm usually up pretty early. I try not to bang anything around. You know, I try to keep my voice low. You know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was, I got 3 viewers now, so somebody else popped in. Yeah, it wasn't Pete. This apartment complex, like my across the way neighbor, she was a really nice young lady. I can't remember her name. Never was loud or anything, and then she moved out. I think she moved in with her boyfriend or fiance. And uh, yeah, they are. And lately it's just the people that have moved in are just not very considerate of other people, and that's just it's a little bit crappy, you know. I'm just trying to bide my time where I can get out of here. Uh, I just don't know where. I've got my ideas where I want to go, but I have to put the money aside for it first, on top of paying bills. Uh, you know, I like to. I definitely don't want to spend another winter here if I can help it, but it may be out of my control. I might just have to kind of wait it out. But yeah, I'm not a big. I don't mind winter, but it's just like it just seems to drag on here. You know, and I don't particularly care for that. I know other people think it's great because you know, they don't get snow. But when you live around it, after a while, it gets old pretty quick. There's our 90, and then it goes right back down to 70. So we're just going to go ahead and get right back off the throttle there. And just kind of coast here. Yeah, exactly. And, you could try to talk to people, but I think it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other. Or, oh, we're sorry, we didn't mean to. There's always the excuses. I hate to say it. And it gets a little old after a while, you know. Like if you accidentally slam a door or something early in the morning, like, you were trying to close the door and it slipped and bam, I could forgive that. But when it's like you're like, I hate to say it, but like the people above me, it's like they're purposely heavy-footed when they walk around their apartment. It's like they're stomping on the floor, intentionally. All right, we got to get on the brakes here because we have yellow coming up. So we're under the 1000 hertz magnet. So we should slow down here. All right, we can get off the brakes now. It'll kind of take care of itself. Yeah, I'm just... Oh, come on. Don't you die. Don't you dare frickin' take all that speed off of here. Come on now. That's BS. Little 2%. Not even 2%. 0.2% grade, and you're going to tell me it's going to bleed off that much speed right away? I don't think so. Nope. Nice try, Charlie Brown. We got a green now, so why do we even have to slow... I don't know. Sometimes this game doesn't make much sense. We're going to get here at least to 36, 37. Alright, now, look at that. Now we come off the magnet. Well, we might as well wait till we pass the 70 before we start speeding up. Actually, we can get on the brakes, or the throttle again, and start making our way towards close to 70. We have 18 kilometers. Sometimes the 3 looks like an 8 and 8 looks like a 3. So we're getting there. I think that's 18 kilometers. Alright. Yeah, it's 18. We got a 110 here, so we should have a 10 board right outside the... Well, it's facing the wrong direction. We'll acknowledge that. Yep, that was 18. So now we're at 17 kilometers. till we get to the end. We're definitely more than halfway there, or a little over halfway. Well, thank you. I have 3 viewers. Thank you all for coming in. Pete and Bella, I know you're here. Not sure who our 3rd viewer is, but thanks for hanging out. Maybe it's just somebody lurking. Remember that scenario, I think it is. But, yeah, hopefully everybody's enjoying it. Completely impromptu. Well, it was semi-planned, but I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to do it today or not. So, yeah. It's that TV viewer bot. Maybe, you never know. Maybe it's Mr. Addy's. He's just lurking because he doesn't want to be found out. Or maybe it's Mick. Maybe Mick's just chilling late at night there in the UK. Yeah, we have a bot that comes in every once in a while, Pete. That if you want to be famous, go here and you get a ton of subscribers and blah. That usual garbage. So yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it's just somebody else from the mods that is hanging out. Maybe Richard's just laying there in bed, like listening to my soothing voice. I don't know. There's no telling. Sorry, I'm a little stuffy lately. I don't think I'm coming down with a cold. I don't know if I don't have allergies, but we've had such a wild roller coaster of temperatures that maybe my sinuses are just acting up. My money's on Mr. Addy's, though. He probably is sitting here watching, going like, "Oh, let me see, eyes on Robert. You see what he's doing." I was talking to, I asked, I got to get clarification. So I asked my German instructor if maybe something I could work on towards the end of the class. We have to do what we call Padlets. All right, let me get on the break here a little bit because we're going at a pretty good clip, and that 2.9 kilometers is going to go by very quickly. I wanted to do a reflection on my time in Germany. Certainly when I was there, I got there just before the Cold War ended, which we didn't expect to happen. When the Berlin Wall came down. Now we got a green light. All right, that's fine. So I wanted to kind of reflect on my time. It's been 30 years. It was 30 years earlier this week, or not this week, last week, that I returned. It was on the 15th of April. Tax day, I returned to Germany after being at the Gulf War in '91, and I was just kind of reflecting on that. Whereas the soldiers that returned from the Gulf came home to parades and stuff like that. I got back to Germany. It was like, oh, you're back, congrats. Let's get you a room and get you your stuff, and so you can kind of get resettled and. And that was it. There was no parade. Yeah, I was just kind of thinking about that. I had like it took like, they gave me, well, initially I think they said 20 days, and then I extended it a little bit. They gave me extra time. I went down to Spain for 5 days with some folks I knew, or some soldiers, guys I knew, from the heavy equipment section, or as we called it, heavy junk. They were the heavy equipment operators for our organization. And I was just kind of reminiscing about all that. And, I wanted to kind of show some photos. I even have a picture of me. I think it's on my Flickr. If you guys go onto the link there on my YouTube page, of when I worked, I stayed with a German family and was at an apple orchard for a week, and really enjoyed all that. And I wanted to kind of show people some different, experiences, especially after the slight slander I received from my German instructor the other day. And it's probably good, and I don't hold it against her. I don't think she meant to like insinuate that I was the one that had gone calling Germans terrible names. But it's still kind of stuck in my craw, so to speak. And so I wanted to kind of share, we were so I was a combat engineer. We were a site security, basically. We rotated it, so you had what they called site reinforcement platoon. And if you were on that meant you could not drink. You were not supposed to consume alcohol. You were supposed to be available within a short amount of time notice. You were supposed to have your gear packed, ready to go, because we were going to the nuclear weapons storage site at Siegelsbach, because there was an attack there and the military police could not handle it all by themselves. There's all those things that young people don't seem to really know about. And I think that even includes young German people. I don't think that oh, look at that, another red coming up. Wow. And it's not like we've been speeding. I don't know what we're catching up to that is... we got an 80 coming up here. We're going to acknowledge that as soon as we pass that board. We're going to get below here, because I know eventually we're going to get that magnet. So we might as well just go ahead and start slowing down now to avoid any drama. So yeah, I just wanted to tell people. I mean, like when I was a combat engineer, there's a bridge, and I think they haven't changed it since I've left Germany, as far as I know. But we went up inside the bridge, underneath the roadway, and there was places for explosives, so that if the Russians were invading, we could drop that bridge. We go up there, put the explosives in place, and blow it and drop that bridge to cut off an avenue for them to continue advancing. Thankfully, we never had to do it, but those are all things, like I said, I think a lot of young people just don't seem to quite know about, understand. They've never been taught it. And again, I think a lot of young Germans, since the walls come down, they're not taught about the wall and what was going on, the differences, and the Cold War and the Americans being there. And yeah, there was a lot of Americans, I'm sure, that were not exactly didn't exactly act appropriately, and that's unfortunate. I had a wonderful time in Germany. Everybody I ever met, really wonderful, always welcoming. I mean, we used to have, when I finally got settled in '89, basically, because I got there at the tail end of '88, we used to have like these huge parties. We would call up we get a hold of our German friends, and we'd say, okay, we're gonna put together this party. We'd bring the chicken and hot dogs and hamburgers, and they'd bring the beer. We'd also bring, because they loved American beer, because they could drink American beer like it was water. And we would just have these big bonfires and parties and just, you know, everybody, it was so friendly and everybody got along and just, it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Uh, you know, if I could go to Heilbronn tomorrow, I would. I would go back there, but I know from Google Earth, the Heilbronn that I know is not necessarily there anymore. It has been built up. The bases where I lived at, the barracks, the casernes as they call them, are both gone. They've been taken over by technology parks or other, you know, buildings of whatever. It's just, I almost didn't recognize it. I had to kind of remember certain landmarks to find certain locations on the map or on Google Earth. Um, it's crazy, and yeah, I mean, and it's I've tried not to make this uh, the German women I dated when I was there. I'm trying not to be, you know, sound terrible here, but the German women there are way different than American women. I'll just leave it at that. Just in a lot of respects. And it when I came back home from Germany finally in June, because I stayed in Germany for a bit and then I got orders to go to Kansas. Home was like a different place to me. I felt like I couldn't talk to people, you know, especially women. I struggled. I had a hard time establishing relationships with American women when I got home. Uh, and so, yeah, it took a long time, and I don't know that I've ever really gotten over that, to be honest. You know, that memory still kind of lives within me, and you know, that's not really fair, I should say. All right, now we're coming up under the 1,000 hertz magnet again. So we're gonna go ahead and get on the brakes here and slow down. For whatever reason, I don't see I didn't see a warning signal saying we've got a red ahead, but that's all right. We'll just go ahead and drop some speed, and that should release the 1,000 hertz magnet there. If this thing will ever stop slowing down. Of course, now we're going to start bleeding too much speed. We don't want to do that because we've got a pretty good momentum going. Yeah, so I struggled, and I still do to this day, because, you know, although German women now, if I tried talking to them, I probably wouldn't have much success because the country has changed significantly. And that's okay, you know. The wall came down and they reunified and they made their choices that they have to, I guess, in a way, live with. But when we left, I kept in touch with a few friends of mine from Germany for a short while. And when we left, a lot of businesses struggled because they were so used to the American dollar, the American soldier spending money on the economy, that a lot of shops, places closed down. I think they didn't recognize the economic impact of when we left until it happened. Um, so yeah, it was. A lot of people said it was quite a struggle for the German economy for quite some time. All right, we got 5.6 kilometers. We're going to zigzag. It looks like here, kind of, until we get there to Finnentrop, and we'll be wrapping up the stream. This has gone on quite longer. I mean, an hour 50. Wow. This has been quite the journey tonight. But yeah, I like to share all that experience, to tell people, I had, everybody I met, for the most part, with the exception, I think there was just a few small exceptions, and that was just that was not the norm. Most everybody was welcoming. Most everybody was generous and kind. Uh, you know, and part of that too is when you're from another country, they generally want to know where you're about your life. You know, that was always a great way to start a conversation. Oh, tell me about. The crazy part was when I told them I was from California, they thought either I lived near the beach or I had a ranch, because that was what they thought of. Americans, especially from people in California, you either lived near the beach or you had a ranch and horses. And when you say no, I lived in the San Francisco Bay Area. Oh, okay. But did you live near the beach? So in the Bay, But they were generally wanting to know about you, your life in America, that sort of thing. And of course, we like to know about their lives. What did they do? Were they students, or did they work somewhere? You know, what kind of music did they like? I know I couldn't dance for nothing, but if I had a couple beers in me, I'd go out there and act a fool on the floor. I didn't care. you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed my time in Germany. I was telling, I think, Richard this morning, I've always felt like Heilbronn is like my second home. And I was prepared to give my life for Heilbronn and for Germany in general, if the Russians had ever invaded. And I know I can't expect everybody to be grateful about that, especially a younger generation who was born way after the events of the Cold War took place. Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping I gotta get clear. She said I could write it up in a paper, but I don't know. I have to find out tomorrow in class what she actually meant. So we'll see. Ask for clarification on that, and then all right, 2.8 kilometers. We should probably start slowing. Well, we're going slightly uphill, so I think we're okay on the speed coming up to drop it to 50 kilometers an hour. But I also feel, in a way, I was just thinking about this. If I did return to Heilbronn, would I really feel as welcome as I did when I got there in 1988? And I'd like to think that the answer would be yes, but I don't know anymore. That's a very... Alright, so we got that. I'm going to acknowledge that because that's one of our warning boards for the 50. Yeah, I just don't know. I get the feeling that I wouldn't, but I hope I'm wrong about that. And I'm sure if I ask my instructor, oh no, Robert, you'd be welcome back, most definitely. I don't know. I mean, I wish I had kept in contact with a lot of people that I knew there. But unfortunately, sometimes in relationships you don't get... somebody doesn't trust you, that you're just writing friends that you've established before you met them. And I had a very jealous girlfriend at the time who didn't... If I was writing a female friend, she would be upset about that. And we were just friends. There was nothing, no romantic situation or possibilities or anything like that. But she... yeah. All right, here we go. 1.3 kilometers. We're finally coming to the end of our journey here. There's a red light for the tail end there. Let's get a little bit of throttle on just to keep our momentum up the slate uphill here. All right. There's our stopping point right there. Kind of like in the middle of the yard almost. Yeah, a bit jealous probably. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Pete. Exactly. You know, no matter what you do to try to parlay somebody's fears, they're not going to hear it for whatever reasons. All right, let's get on a little bit more brake here. There's another freight service probably waiting for us to pull in, and then it probably will take off. The same mixed freight looks like that what we're pulling, quite possibly. No, that's something different. One of those are the steel containers or something. Again, we don't have a 500 hertz magnet, but I'm wondering if that's probably because we're below the 15 kilometers an hour requirement. But yeah, I'd definitely like to go back. I'd like to spend a couple weeks there and just walk around, take pictures, and kind of compare, you know, compare photos from the what I do have and all that. I'd also like to I didn't get a picture of it, and I definitely want to. There's a wall, or not a wall, a tower that city used to be walled, you know, long time ago. You know, in the I don't remember when exactly, but there's a tower that was one of the guard towers around the walls when Heilbronn was walled off, and I like to go get a picture of that for sure, because our we had kind of like that. It's, you know, like the rook of a castle, I guess, you know, if you're thinking about chess, that's what it looks like. That was our logo for our organization in Germany. Our unit patch had that, and so I've always thought about that as a, you know, kind of a connection to that lone tower that sits there in Heilbronn. I think there's a kind of a little plaza or park or whatever you want to call it, or near it. Yeah, definitely. There's just so much I'd like to go back and see, and all that. Maybe one day. Maybe if I hit the lottery. I'm definitely going to Europe in general, in the UK, Ireland, all that, if I ever win the lotto, that's for sure. Come on, coast it in there, coast it in there. Don't you die on me. No. Oh, come on. Ah. Oh, well. It is what it is. All right. There we go. 2 services on the 185.2. That was 60 kilometers. 60 kilometers. Nobody ever talks about this route being that long. Why is that? People forget. Hour and 5 minutes to get it completed. Probably a due part. We had to slow down quite a bit for those red lights. So anyway, that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks, Pete and Amela. drawing a blank here. And our third viewer who still remains anonymous, thank you for coming in and hanging out. And I will see you all for sure. Well, I'll see you guys in the Discord at some point, and I will see you on Friday on Clinchfield. All right, take care. Enjoy.